Attention health and fitness entrepreneurs, or those of you who are passionate about the industry and want to start something of your own. In today's video, we're going to discover the 5 must-know reasons why health and wellness businesses fail in their first year and how you can avoid those same mistakes so you can have success on your launch. It's time to break the cycle and discover the proven strategies to start and build a thriving health and fitness business. Join us today and avoid the costly mistakes that might sink your business before you even start. Hey Impactors, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Simeon Krastev and I'm on a mission to build an international multi-million-dollar health and wellness business. And on this channel, I'm sharing the journey, tips, tricks, lessons, and things I'm applying along the way so you can follow along and hopefully get inspired. Make sure you subscribe and let's dive into the video. Reason number 1 why most health and fitness businesses fail is because they don't choose the right location for their model. And I'm sure you've heard the term, you gotta pick the right location. Location is the key. And that's true, but it also depends on the core concept of the club you're opening. So whether it's a college athlete campus where you wanna help athletes after the campus hours to improve their athletic shape, we're catering towards busy moms who are stay at home and don't have a lot of time to travel around and commute to the facility, or if you're targeting busy professionals who want to join a quick class after the work hours, that's a different set of people that require different needs. Now, we chose a location for ourselves, one of the locations that failed, where we were located right in the city center. The mistake we did there is that our core avatar was busy moms who had to travel in and out of the city center, which is not very convenient. And the second mistake we did there is we had no parking. So if you're choosing a location, make sure you have a few things in mind. First, the accessibility to the location. Do you have enough parking space? Is it easy to get to? Is there other transportation other than driving in there? Depends whether you're living in the outskirts or you're living in a big city. And having that in mind will give you more options to bring people down to the location. The second mistake we did was in a residential area that was up and coming. So we had the ideal thing that was matching what we needed because we were catering towards busy moms, and we moved into our new location, which was in a residential area up and coming with a lot of new construction, everything sold out, with a lot of new families in there. On paper, it made the perfect sense. What we didn't realize though is that because of all the construction, there was no really infrastructure in terms of roads. It was a bit hectic in terms of parking, and it was really hard to get to the location because of all the construction and building. So people had to go all around the neighborhood to be able to come to our location, which ultimately resulted in a lot less people showing up. So sometimes on paper things might look great, but what I would suggest now from years of experience within the industry is if you choose a location, don't get sold on the idea, don't get fixated on it. Be completely realistic about the expectations you can have. And what I would suggest is just stick around the area, sit in front of the location for a couple of nights just to see how's the foot traffic. Is there parking spots at night? What is happening in the area? Are there other businesses that are open late that can feed your business as well? Would there be problematic neighbors because of the noise? If you're living in, again, a residential building, that there's people living above you, that might cause some stress. And I wouldn't go too deep on that, but make sure that the location you pick matches the concept you have. So for the city center location, if I had to reshift my concept, I would target busy professionals. So the area we launched our location there was with a lot of lawyers and finance professionals, and I would do much shorter classes compared to the other locations where I would just cater towards a different demographic. So this is very important thing to keep in mind when it comes to location. The second thing to keep in mind when it comes to the location is the things that you can't change. Remodeling is easy. Furnishing up a location, adding the equipment, that's easy. But changing the structure of how the location is set up is almost impossible. So make sure you look for high ceilings. Make sure you have plumbing and electric done if possible. Make sure you have enough space to expand your business within it and keep the rate within a reasonable rate. Make sure you start small and build upon it over time instead of just moving into a huge location that it's going to be hard to fill up, because in the early days as you're building up your business, what's important is that you create that momentum, and the bigger the location is, the harder it is to create that momentum as you need a lot more people. And if you're an unexperienced business owner, that's going to be very hard in the beginning. So I suggest start small, Make sure you have the fundamentals down, you have plenty of space for workouts and for having people come over, but at the same time, make sure you don't splurge too much and be emotional about the location you're choosing. Reason number 2 why most health and fitness businesses fail is because they run out of money. And sure, when you're starting out your business, you're hoping for the best, you're drawing out these plans, you're making the Excel sheet, everything looks great on paper. But when it comes to actually running the business, there's usually a lot of hidden costs that if you're an unexperienced business owner, you're simply not aware of. And you're gonna be facing those along the way. There's gonna be the cost of staff, marketing, permits, build out of the location, promotion, and various expenses that are hidden layers deep and are not gonna be happening until you've launched. And sometimes if you haven't budgeted out for this, it might make or break your business. So if you're starting out, keep things in mind. It's always gonna take longer than you're expecting, and it's always gonna be more expensive than you're expecting. So make sure you have enough cash and you keep your fixed expenses low. So I suggest instead of getting a professional software from the get-go, getting logo, design, try to get all of those things as cheap as possible and focus on the key components of delivering your service, which is making sure you have enough space within your location to serve the people. Make sure you work on your product, whether that's going to be the transformational program you have, or it's going to be the classes or training your staff. Make sure you focus on the service and the marketing first, because without those two things, it's going to be almost impossible to get your business off the ground. Every extra expense when it comes to renovating the location, make it look nicer, save it for later down the line where you already have cash flow, where you already have profit, and it's easier to reinvest into the business. What I would suggest is to keep 6 to 12 months of expenses in your bank account so you don't have the pressure of pushing the business. And not because it's not good to have the pressure, but because sometimes it might lead to the wrong decisions. It's a costly mistake that I've experienced myself, because we spent way too much money on our first location on things that didn't really matter for the customers. And it's pretty much money that never resulted into any profit or any positive benefits outside of just being able to tell you that story now. So my 2 cents on that: save your money, try to invest only the things that matter to improve customer service. Don't add too much equipment, as that might limit your space, the capacity of your location, and be smart with your money. Reason number 3 why health and fitness businesses fail is because they don't do their market research and they don't choose a core concept. When you're first starting out, the chances are you're something like me. You're passionate about the industry, maybe you're working as a personal trainer or a health coach, or you're doing some sort of stuff online and you want to transition and open your brick and mortar location where you can meet your clients daily, where you'll be working out yourself, and you start out of passion, not so much the business sense of building a location and expanding. And that's not a problem if that's what you want, but if you want a successful business that's giving you income every single month, you gotta do your market research, and also you gotta choose a concept that you're gonna work with. Do you wanna have high volume of customers every single day? Do you wanna cater towards one-on-one services? Do you wanna have a facility where you have a bunch of equipment and you're competing on the lowest possible price for access to that equipment? Or you wanna have more high touch experience for your clients? Do you want to provide nutrition? Do you want to provide exercise and accountability? As I believe these are the 3 core pillars moving forward from 2023 and beyond when it comes to the health and wellness industry. Now, second, you would have to choose what is the avatar you're going to be serving. Is it busy moms? Is it college athletes? Is it busy professionals? Do you want to have a laid back environment in your club, or you want to have like a hardcore facility where people come to lift heavy weights? It's totally up to you, but unless you have a concept, it's going to be very hard to stand out in the noisy marketplace health and fitness. So what I would suggest is just go around your local area within a radius of 20 to 30 miles and see what are the existing health and fitness businesses. Just see what is their pricing, see how long they've been in the business, what is their rent like, how much they're profiting, how many employees they have. Try to get a feel for what's happening around you, and don't let that discourage you, because some of them might be years ahead of you in terms of their development, growth, capital, and every other location, but rather look for gaps in the marketplace. And if you find that gap, it's gonna make it so much more easier to stand out. Add it to your marketing collateral so you can promote yourself as the only facility within your region that does X, Y, and Z to help specific type of people, and it's going to make it much easier to become profitable and expand your business over time. So market research is critical. Think of those few things: pricing, what are the offers your competitors have, what is the demographic they're serving, how big is their location, how many employees they have, how long they've been in business, and how did they go through the storm of everything happening in the past few years. Having answers to those questions will give you a bit more predictability of what you can expect for yourself and something to look into. If you don't have any competition within your local region and there's no established competitors that have been in business for a long enough time, the chances are there's a problem, and it might be either the area or just the model the competitors have chosen. But make sure you don't start before you have a clear concept. Don't just start out of passion. Reason number 4 why most health and wellness businesses fail is because of poor management. And when you're first starting out, there's just so many things to think about, and management is the last thing you want to think about. And I don't just mean managing employees, but managing yourself as a business owner now, managing your accounting, managing your finance, managing the client relationships. It's just so many nuances to a health and fitness businesses. There are many components. You're working with people, you're facing customers every single day, but you also have employees, and you want to have a compelling vision, culture, strategy to make sure that those employees embody your core traits and things you want to have as a business and pass on to your customer. The chances are, if you're starting, you don't have those things happening, and it's probably my costliest mistake, that I spend way too much time into the technicalities of building a gym, such as working on the workout program, the nutrition programs, the accountability and making sure customers get results, which, don't get me wrong, is super important. It's one of the most crucial elements, but the management aspect of it is something that you need to at least understand. So if you're not good at it, you can pass on to someone else, you can outsource, hire, and also budget for it. But this is something that I see inexperienced health and wellness entrepreneurs do as a mistake. First, they don't invest in those skills. Second, they don't manage properly the core components of their business. And probably the 2 most important thing when it comes to the success of your health and wellness business is the effectiveness of your attraction, the retention of your customers, and also the finance. If your model doesn't make sense financially, it will be very hard to attract talent, keep talent, and allow them to grow with your location and business. So make sure you spend some time to understand the fundamentals of a business, managing staff, managing people, managing expectations, managing accounting, finance, and just have an understanding of the core concept. There's many great books that can help you with that, and I'm gonna list some of them down below so you can just get a feel for it. But keep in mind, if that's something you're unexperienced in, you have to pay the ignorance cost, and it will cost you a lot, but it will be the lessons you need to move forward. Mistake number 5, and something I often see within the industry, is that people spend all their time, energy, and money on building out these great locations, buying the most expensive equipment, hiring staff, training the staff, and when it comes to launching their marketing and bringing in people through the door, they're either left with no money or they haven't planned for it at all, which leads to having months and months and months where you're having that heavy overhead of the location, the staff, and all the expenses that are piling up without having the consistent flow of new people coming into your location. And that builds resentment, first within the team, because they're wondering if that's ever going to work out. Second, within yourself as a business owner, and it could be prevented by simply planning ahead of time. So if you're going to be opening a location within 1, 2, 3, 4 months, make sure you start planning your marketing now. And what I would suggest in the beginning is that you keep your equipment budget almost as close to your marketing budget. So if you plan out to buy equipment for $10,000, make sure you allocate $10,000 for marketing as well. If you plan on buying $5,000 worth of equipment, match that out and have $5,000 for advertising, as that's going to allow you to get yourself out there. For us, lead generation has been a great resources of bringing in people to our physical locations, and you can check that video out. It's going to help you understand a little bit more of how you can get yourself leads from the internet for your health and wellness business. And by the way, if you want to start one, make sure you check out the links in below. Let me know, we can partner on setting up a business for yourself and working together. Once you have your marketing campaigns planned out, make sure you have at least 3 components of marketing. A lot of people rely on a single strategy. They say, oh, I'm great at advertising, or I'm gonna outsource this component to an agency. That's great. Make sure you have at least 2 more. And as one of my good friends likes to say, always wear a belt and suspenders. So if you're just relying on online advertising, make sure you add the local component to it. Partner with local businesses. start referral program or hand out flyers. Just think of ways you can penetrate your market and just pick 2 to 3 strategies that you think are applicable and focus on those in the beginning until you build on that momentum. And bonus reason number 6 is that people don't understand the 5 core functions of a health and fitness business, and those are as it follows: lead generation, lead nurture, conversion, delivery, and then retention, resale, and ascension. The lead generation is how you're gonna bring in people through the door. Lead nurture is how you're gonna work with those people until they become customers. And that could be your social media content and the value you provide on the internet. Could be when they come into your club, how do you nurture them? Do you have a process to turn them from strangers into paying customers? Whether that be like through a consultation or a presentation or conducting a master class. You gotta have a way to nurture the people that come to you and convert them into customers. Now, point number 3 is the conversion, how you're selling to people, how you're having them pay you money in exchange of the value you're providing and the result you can deliver with your health and fitness business. When you're first starting out, you're not really thinking about those things. And even if you're missing one of those components, it will be almost impossible to grow that business. You might sustain it because you're a good person and word of mouth kicks in and you're making profit here and there, but you're never gonna have the consistency, the predictability, and the ease of running such a business because there's always one thing missing. So make sure you master those components. Number 4 is actually the delivery. Once you learn on what your marketplace wants and how you can sell it, the next step would be delivering that service. And it needs to be something that delivers on the promises of your service. So if you're promising your clients are gonna be fitter, look better, and change the way they look and feel, then you gotta deliver on that promise through your programs and transformation, whether that's gonna be in the facility or using a hybrid model. That's what we do with our Impactful Loop programs and the Social Fit Motivator program that we have, where we have the physical location alongside an online program, and combining both allows us to have a high-touch approach to ensure that our clients are getting the best of both worlds. They have the in-person experience, but they also have the high-touch value of an online experience where we can follow them up longer and provide more value that doesn't really cost anything to our business. So if you're just starting out, think about how your delivery is going to happen. Now, the next thing and the thing that is going to allow for your business to grow is the retention, reselling, and ascension, which means that how you keep your customers for longer, how you sell them more services and products, and then how you ascend them, meaning sell them more expensive things. And if you master those 5 components, you're gonna have a thriving health and fitness business. If you're just starting out in the industry, make sure you hit me up. We can partner together, work together, and build something great, as we've already experienced many of the lessons you're gonna be facing along the way. And there you have it. These are the 5 must-know mistakes that most people do when they start their health and fitness business. And by understanding them and avoiding many of them, you can build a thriving business even if you're starting from scratch. And if you're looking into launching your health and wellness business, make sure you check out this next video.